Use the attached paper again and read passage 2 to complete the following questions. You can follow along as I read passage 2. Today was family day at the bank in town where Jordan's father worked. All employees were permitted to bring one child to work. Jordan knew that his father had an important job, but was not really sure what his responsibilities were at the bank. Jordan often went to the bank with his mother, but instead of going inside, they went to an ATM machine, where she put in or took out money. Jordan did not know what ATM meant. Jordan had so many questions, and today he expected to get some explanations. As the car pulled out of their driveway, Jordan waved goodbye to his mother and his sister, Katie. They arrived at the bank 10 minutes later, and Mr. Olson parked in a space next to the front door. The sign of the parking space read, "Manager." When they entered the bank, directly in front of Jordan was a line of people waiting to walk up to a counter where men and women were counting money and working on computers. To the right, employees seated at desks were making phone calls and assisting customers. Glancing around, Jordan saw that Tanya, from his math class, and his friends Jose and Hamid had come with their parents. As they walked to Mr. Olson's office, the employees said, "Good morning, Mr. Olson," and his father returned their greeting. Jordan waited while his father checked his messages. Then they went back to the main area. Mr. Olson introduced Jordan to the bank tellers who worked behind the counter, helping customers put money in and take money out of the bank. Jordan also met employees who worked at desks and helped customers set up bank accounts. One of the women in that area explained to Jordan that people must have a bank account if they want the bank to hold their money. Mr. Olson assured Jordan that a bank is a safe place to keep money. He pointed to cameras that were all around the bank and said that there were cameras outside too. His father explained that the cameras help watch all activity at a bank. People would not put their money in a bank unless they knew it would be secure. Then they went to the safe room, and Jordan was astonished at its size. Not only was the room large, it was also well protected. There was a giant steel door that could only be opened by certain bank employees, and 2 security guards were posted outside the room. Jordan asked questions all day long, and his father did his best to answer them. He learned that a person could earn interest by putting money in the bank. At the end of every month, a bank pays its customers interest for the money the customers keep in their bank accounts. Banks also charge interest to people who borrow money, and Mr. Olson explained that charging interest is how a bank makes most of its money. Finally, Jordan only had one more question. What does ATM mean? Mr. Olson explained that ATM was the short way of saying automatic teller machine. He also noted that ATMs are extremely useful devices because bank customers can deposit or withdraw money from the bank at any time that is convenient for them. At dinner, Jordan told his mother and sister about his day. He described the safe room and related his new knowledge about the ATMs. After dinner, Jordan raced to his bedroom and returned with a large jar filled with coins. "Isn't it time to take this to the bank so I can start earning interest?" Jordan inquired as he smiled at his father. To answer the questions, you can refer back to the passage. Who is in the same math class as Jordan? Katie, Tanya, Jose, Hamid. Where would this passage most likely appear? In a book of fiction? In a local newspaper? In a college textbook? In an encyclopedia? What would be a good title for this passage? The Safe Room? Jordan's Day at the Bank? People Who Work at the Bank? Jordan Meets Friends at the Bank. A person who works at a bank is most likely very good at building things, teaching people, doing math, reading books. When do customers earn interest? When they use an ATM, when they set up a bank account, when they keep money in the bank, when they borrow money from the bank. How are ATMs different from bank tellers? ATMs are always available. ATMs cannot give customers money. ATMs do not accept deposits of money. ATMs are not located at the bank. Which statement from the passage is an example of an opinion? ATMs are extremely useful devices. They arrived at the bank 10 minutes later. Today was family day at the bank. The sign in front of the parking space read, Manager. First, Mr. Olson checks his messages. Second, blank. Third, Mr. Olson shows Jordan the safe room. Which of the following belongs in the blank? So again, first he checks his messages. Last, he shows Jordan the safe room. What happens in between those two events? Jordan sees his friends from school. Jordan brings a jar of coins into the kitchen. Mr. Olson parks his car in front of the bank. Mr. Olson introduces Jordan to the employees. What will Jordan most likely do with his jar of coins? He will give it to his sister. He will give it to his mother. He will put it under his bed. He will bring it to the bank. From reading this passage, you can tell that Jordan has been inside a bank many times. Mr. Olson does not like his job. Money in a bank is well protected. The bank does not have many customers. The author of this passage most likely believes that there are not enough ATMs at the bank. Children should not be allowed inside a bank. People should keep some of their money in a bank. Only bank employees should be able to earn interest. Read the following sentence from the passage. All employees were permitted to bring one child to work. What does the word permitted mean as it is used in this sentence? To be asked a question, to make a suggestion, to be allowed to do something, to be placed in charge.